AEW wrestler Eddie Kingston reacts to the Revolution pay-per-view main event, saying he doesn't understand AEW anymore and questions if he should even come back to the company once he's recovered from his current injury. We've got the ratings for Friday's edition of SmackDown on USA Network. Roman Reigns makes his return last night on Monday Night Raw, attacking CM Punk and Seth Rollins. Cody Rhodes confirms that John Cena will be on Monday Night Raw next week for the first time since turning heel at Elimination Chamber. AJ Styles saves Andrew Schultz from a Logan Paul attack on Raw. Tony Khan gives an update on a potential Ring of Honor television deal. Details on tonight's title versus title match on NXT Roadblock. A backstage update on the recent absence of AEW manager Stokely Hathaway. Io Sky slaps both Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair on Raw last night. Chad Gable will make his return to WWE television, possibly under a mask, maybe not. Plus, several matches and segments have been confirmed for AEW Dynamite this week. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with a bit of an update on the Mad King himself, Eddie Kingston. Now, former AEW Continental Champion Eddie Kingston has been away from wrestling for almost a full year after suffering a fractured tibia, torn meniscus, and a torn ACL during a match with Gabe Kidd in 2024. And while he's been gone, a lot has changed in All Elite Wrestling. Most notably, his former friend and tag team partner John Moxley has held the AEW World Championship hostage in a briefcase, turned Blackpool Combat Club into his Death Riders, and recently dispatched of both Cope and Christian Cage at the Revolution pay-per-view on March 9th. Kingston, clearly not impressed by what he saw, took to Instagram to state that he doesn't understand the company he works for anymore. Posting on Instagram, he said, quote, "Love is the highest elevation of understanding. I don't understand AEW anymore after last night. Why come back? Shake my head." Now, the Mad King was originally scheduled to return to AEW in the coming months, as he was originally slated to miss around 10 to 12 months of action, putting his return between March and May of 2025. With that said, if Kingston doesn't love AEW the way he once did, perhaps fans may have seen the last of the first ever AEW Continental Champion. However, comments like the one he put on Instagram might be related to the number of setbacks Kingston has faced during his road to recovery. He revealed in February 2025 that he caused damage to his stomach through stress, and when he was asked what the process had been like, Kingston simply responded with, quote, "Shit is hard." The Mad King has previously said that he would like to be back in action by April 2025, but he doesn't want to rush things if he's not ready, despite another report claiming he could be out of action until July 2025 at the earliest. Now let's talk about the ratings for Friday's edition of SmackDown on USA Network. Friday's episode of WWE SmackDown averaged 1.741 million viewers on the USA Network. That's up 0.6% from the previous week. It's the best audience total for the show since the last episode on Fox in September of 2024. SmackDown topped all of television with a 0.52 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. That's the same rating the show did last week and nearly doubled the second place program, which was Fire Country on CBS. The show went head-to-head with a college basketball game on Fox that finished 8th on the 18 to 49 charts with a 0.24 rating, in addition to going against an NBA game on ESPN that finished 10th with a 0.22. As compared to the same week in 2024, when the show still aired on Fox, SmackDown's overall viewership is down 28.6%, while the 18 to 49 rating was down 24.6%. Now, Roman Reigns, he is back on WWE television, making his presence felt last night on Raw. Roman Reigns ensured Seth Rollins defeated CM Punk in the steel cage match to close WWE Raw. Punk and Rollins were meeting in the ring for the second time this year, following Punk's victory on the Netflix premiere of Raw in January, after Rollins had cost his rival the Elimination Chamber match and thus a WrestleMania opportunity at WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. They would eventually ascend to the top of the cage in the match, battling at the top before Punk sought to knock Rollins down. Rollins hung onto the cage, balancing himself on the top rope to deliver a superplex to Punk down the ring and covering for a near fall. They would then exchange strikes in the middle of the ring before Punk hit a GTS to Rollins for his own near fall. Punk sought to go for another GTS, only for Rollins to reverse it into an STF submission, harkening back to Punk's loss at Elimination Chamber before Punk himself reversed the hold into an Anaconda Vice. Rollins broke free free and hit a curb stomp yet again, with Punk kicking out, and then following up with another GTS for Rollins to kick out. Punk sought to escape the cage through the door, but Rollins challenged him to stay and fight. Punk went for another GTS, but Rollins broke free and hit his own GTS to Punk for yet another near fall. He then followed up with another curb stomp, but Punk instead kicked out one last time, before Reigns made his surprise return to drag Rollins out of the cage. As a result, Rollins technically won the match, but would then receive a pair of curb stomps from Reigns onto the floor. Meanwhile, Paul Heyman had joined Punk in the ring and was consoling him following his loss, but Reigns followed him inside the cage as officials pulled him away from Rollins. Reigns then leveled Punk with a spear to close the show. Of course, it has been rumored there is going to be a triple threat match between Reigns, Rollins, and CM Punk at WrestleMania. Now, a big announcement for next week's edition of Monday Night Raw. John Cena is set to return to WWE television for the first time since his shocking heel turn at Elimination Chamber, when he aligned himself with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. But it was his WrestleMania 41 opponent, undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes, who made the announcement. Rhodes appeared on Raw on Monday and said Cena let those in his inner circle know, and word got out that he would be on Raw next Monday in Brussels, Belgium. Rhodes addressed the crowd in Madison Square Garden, where we heard dueling chants in the favour of Cena alongside Cena sucks chants. Rhodes said that no one defies the business better than Cena, but his dream of becoming a 17-time world champion is just a fantasy. The American Nightmare said he'll have the heartbreaking privilege of beating Cena at WrestleMania. Cena will be making his Raw appearance on the WWE European Tour, which will see 6 episodes of television from Spain, Italy, Belgium, Scotland, and England. As of this recording, there's currently no word on if Cena's going to be making any more European Tour dates. I think he is scheduled for one more episode of Raw on the road to WrestleMania. Of course, he was last seen in the post-Elimination Chamber press conference, where he didn't take questions but appeared to just drop the microphone. AJ Styles clashed with Logan Paul last night on Raw. AJ Styles left Logan Paul retreating during Raw after a brief exchange between Paul and comedian Andrew Schultz. Paul emerged to cut a promo alone in the ring before Styles was scheduled to do so, addressing the heel turn of John Cena to align with The Rock. 2 names he said he was associated with against Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber, making it clear he thought Rhodes made a mistake in saying no to the final boss. He then addressed The Rock to say he would consider his soul for sale before turning his attention to Schultz, stood at ringside alongside TKO COO Mark Shapiro, and demanding a microphone to be given to the comedian. Paul asked Schultz who he had come to see, expecting his name to be said, but Schultz replied that he was there to see the steel cage match between Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Paul then accepted that they were going to be at the show, but once again asked who Schultz had come to see. Schultz said that no one had come to see Paul, and in New York they wanted to see real wrestlers like Styles. That prompted Paul to attack Schultz and drag him into the ring, only for Styles to emerge and make the save. Paul retreated from the ring and up the ramp, while Styles continued to call for him to get back into the ring. Paul continued to walk away, and Styles turned instead to celebrate with Schultz in the middle of the squared circle. Now, a bit of an update here when it comes to the future of Ring of Honor and a television deal. Tony Khan's handling of Ring of Honor has been criticized by some fans of the promotion, with criticisms often pointing to how the once prestigious promotion has been relegated to a developmental brand instead. Many believe a television deal could help ROH return to its former glory, and as such, Khan is often pressed on the matter. Ahead of this past weekend's AEW Revolution, Khan held a media call and shared an update on the status of his efforts to get ROH on television. Quote, "We've had great conversations about it domestically and internationally, and I want to make sure that when we make a deal, we make the best deal possible," Khan explained. "So I haven't been rushing. We have so many exciting things happening here around AEW right now." The AEW president then pointed to Dynamite and Collision's recent successes on streaming, as well as AEW's partnership with Amazon Prime, as indicators for the success he wants to achieve with Ring of Honor. He said, quote, "I think as we're getting all of our business lines in order and planning these new revenue streams, I do think Ring of Honor has so much potential," Khan added. "I think we had a great final battle show at Hammerstein this year." Additionally, he pointed towards the progress of wrestlers signed to ROH and how he thinks they're currently doing great things. Quote, "I can't say for sure when or where that TV deal will happen, but it's definitely something we're interested in and have been putting time in." A big update here when it comes to tonight's NXT Roadblock special. Tonight's NXT Roadblock will take place from Madison Square Garden in New York City and is set to feature 3 title bouts, including a winner-takes-all match between the Women's North American Champion Stephanie Vaquer and NXT Women's Champion Julia. Many wrestling fans and media alike felt the champion versus championship match was a premature announcement from NXT, with Julia having won her title this past January and Vaquer claiming her bout just 3 weeks ago. However, last month it was reported that Julia had been dealing with multiple multiple injuries and is set to take time off to recover, meaning Vakur will likely come out victorious today. The winner-take-all match has led to confusion about the future of both titles and if they will remain separate from each other, leading Dave Meltzer to provide an update on the Women's Championships on Monday. Speaking on Wrestling Observer Radio, Meltzer explained that the titles will not be unified and the winner will hold both title bouts going forward. Therefore, the Women's North American Championship will remain NXT's secondary female title instead of being combined with the NXT Women's Championship. In addition, with NXT Stand and Deliver on the horizon, it remains to be seen if the winner will defend both titles on the show. NXT Roadblock will also feature Obafemi against TNA X Division Champion Moose for the NXT Championship, and the Hardy Boys versus Fraxium for the TNA World Tag Team titles. 2 non-title matches are also scheduled for this evening's show, as Javon Evans will battle Ethan Page in a New York City street fight, and Jordan Grace will go one-on-one with Roxanne Perez. Going back to AEW, a bit of an update on Stokely Hathaway. AEW manager Stokely Hathaway disappeared off television last year with little explanation, ending his run alongside Chris Statlander after just a few months. While the abrupt conclusion of the angle on Hathaway's subsequent absence sparked questions, a new report has downplayed any mystery surrounding the situation. According to Fightful Select, there is no grander reason for Hathaway's absence beyond the performer taking time off. Hathaway's partnership with Statlander ended after Statlander defeated Willow Nightingale at AEW All Out, which stands in contrast to how manager angles are usually ended in pro wrestling. Along with Hathaway being removed from television, Statlander turned from heel to face and began feuding against Mercedes Moné over the TBS Championship. This led to a match between the two at Full Gear, which Statlander lost. Speaking about her former manager in November, Statlander stated she had split from Hathaway after they took care of Nightingale, indicating that it was the only thing keeping the two of them paired up. Additionally, the wrestler blamed Hathaway for costing her a chance at the CMLL Women's World Championship. Prior to joining AEW in 2022, Hathaway had a previous run in WWE where he was known as Malcolm Bivens. After being released by WWE, the manager reverted to his real name and debuted in AEW by offering his services to Jade Cargill. Hathaway also became a founding member of the short-lived faction The Firm and served as an on-screen role in Ring of Honor as a fictional member of the company's board of directors. Going back to Monday Night Raw last night, and a possible triple threat match for the Women's World Championship could be on the horizon for WrestleMania. 1 week ago, Io Sky shocked the wrestling world when she defeated Rhea Ripley to become the new Women's World Champion. With that win, she secured a match at WrestleMania, replacing Ripley in a match against 2025 Women's Elimination Chamber winner Bianca Belair. Michael Cole interviewed Sky in the ring. She expressed her excitement over becoming champion, being in Madison Square Garden, and going to WrestleMania. Belair joined her opponent in the ring and congratulated her. Cole asked the EST if she hadn't been out there, perhaps Ripley wouldn't have been distracted and would still be champion. Belair replied that she's had enough drama and wants to focus on Mania. Right on cue, Ripley stormed down to the ring to confront Belair. She asked why she was there and if she was there to help Sky win. Belair claimed she was only there to see who her opponent would be for WrestleMania. She also said Ripley is defensive because she knows she can't beat the genius of the Sky. The champion attempted to intervene only for Ripley to push her in the face. Ripley told Belair she was going to hide behind Sky like she hid behind Naomi and Jade Cargill. Belair also pushed Sky in the face while the argument continued. Sky slapped both women in the face and yelled while jumping out of the ring and pointing at the WrestleMania sign. Sky stormed off while still yelling. Now, Chad Gable, he's back. Kind of, on WWE programming. During Monday Night Raw, Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee took on the New Day in a Tornado Tag Team match. A returning masked Chad Gable cost Mysterio the match when he emerged from the crowd to get involved. In the closing minutes of the match, Gable, donning a patriotic luchador mask that said American Made, hopped the barricade to deliver a Hurricane Runner and a flying headbutt to Lee. Mysterio attempted to help his partner, but Gable slammed him into the apron before nailing him with a German suplex. He then put up 2 fingers on each hand, the way that Gable does to say thank you. Gable got yanked over the barricade by 2 security guards. His attack led the way for the New Day to pick up the victory. But this is where it gets weird. After the match, Kathy Kelly asked Gable why he attacked Mysterio and Lee. He denied it was him, but Kelly told him to quit lying because the masked man had the exact same build and clothes that he did. Security was then seen leading a man wearing the mask away while she was still talking to Gable. Now, last week, a vignette aired of Gable walking the streets of Mexico showing random people a photo. He eventually came across a masked man who handed him a box. Gable was shown opening the box and smiling. Just maybe that was the mask in question. And finally, several matches and segments have been confirmed for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. AEW has announced several segments on social media. Kenny Omega, the brand new AEW International Champion, will speak on the March 12th episode of AEW Dynamite on TBS and Max. Of course, Omega won the AEW International Championship from Konosuke Takeshita at AEW Revolution this past Sunday. Plus, Maxwell Jacob Friedman will speak following his loss in the opening match of Revolution against Hangman Adam Page. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak with you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.